And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Friday Night Havoc. It is Marty, Feldspar, and we return to you with another edition of IWA Friday Night Havoc after an outage over at Microsoft. And ladies and gentlemen, we bring the action tonight with another match between Saul Goodman, who faces off against Hank Schrader, the DEA agent. The third match of the evening, an Extreme Rules Tag Team match. Walt and Jesse facing off against Ronald, McDonald, and the Burger King. The fifth match of the evening, Tucker Henderson, our commissioner, is the special guest referee in a match between McCoy and Pierre Olivier Laurant. And the fifth match of the evening, we have Chicken Wars. Gus Fring of Los Pollos Hermanos faces off against Kentucky's own Colonel Sanders. And ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening, we have Cartel Wars. Lalo Salamanca facing off against Tony Scarface Montana. So now we just have Saul Goodman and Hank Schrader in the middle of the ring. And what's this? The IWA lightweight champion Mike Ehrmantraut making his way down to the ring. And what's he got in store here for longtime rival Hank Schrader? Mike Ehrmantraut certainly in cahoots with his longtime serving lawyer Saul Goodman. And will he perhaps be here to distract Hank Schrader once again and help his buddy Saul Goodman get a victory over the DEA agent tonight? Mike Ehrmantraut knows he's causing trouble and he's going to pop a squat right at ringside. And ladies and gentlemen, Hank Schrader just focused on Mike Ehrmantraut, but he's got a Saul Goodman, a lawyer, in the middle of the ring. And here's Saul Goodman, Hank Schrader. Saul Goodman with a quick drop kick to Hank Schrader. And now stomping the lawyer. And Saul Goodman with a cutter, bouncing off of the ropes. Fantastic maneuver there by Saul Goodman, who Irish whips Hank Schrader into the corner of the ring. Saul Goodman bouncing off, and a springboard lion salt by Saul Goodman, who looks to end this match early. And Hank Schrader missing the right hand, driving the knee into the gut of Saul Goodman. Rights and lefts by Hank Schrader. A big right hand by Saul Goodman. A bitch slap by Hank Schrader. A right hand by Saul Goodman. Another bitch slap by Hank Schrader. A right hand by Saul Goodman. Bitch slap attempt failed. And Hank Schrader now, right hand at the right hand. Bitch slap missing by Hank Schrader. And Hank Schrader is busted wide open, and a headbutt to Saul Goodman sends the lawyer down to the ground. And now Hank Schrader just kicking the shit out of Saul Goodman. More kicks. And Hank Schrader sending Saul Goodman down to the ground and dropping the body onto Saul Goodman. And Hank Schrader now just talking shit to the lawyer as he exits the ring. Leg drop onto Saul Goodman. And Hank Schrader and Saul Goodman exchanging blows in the middle of the ring. And Hank Schrader getting the better of his man. And Hank Schrader, what's this? Mike Ehrmantraut has just jumped into the ring and attacked Hank Schrader. And the referee's calling this match. And ladies and gentlemen, Mike Ehrmantraut has just interfered and seemingly put an end to this match. And he's just going towards the DEA agent, Hank Schrader. Just kicking the absolute shit out of the DEA agents. And now Mike Ehrmantraut dropping the knee onto the face of Hank Schrader. Kicking Hank Schrader in the back. A moonsault off the top rope by Mike Ehrmantraut. Oh my. And just kicking Hank Schrader right in the balls. Lion salt off the top rope by Mike Ehrmantraut. Grabbing Hank Schrader, Irish whip. Superman punch by Mike Ehrmantraut. And ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere because we have an Extreme Rules Tornado Tag match between Walt and Jesse facing off against Ronald, McDonald, and the Burger King. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a meth empire versus a fast food empire. What more can you ask for? And here is the Coalition making their way to the ring. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Coalition, the team of fast food cronies. Ronald McDonald, the Burger King, Colonel Sanders of KFC have all joined together to make a wrestling coalition, a wrestling faction, a team that is looking for IWA Championship gold. And word on the street is that they are trying to recruit hot dog eating champion Joey Chestnut onto their roster. But that remains to be seen. And here they are now, the Coalition just raising their fists into the air. They have vowed to take out any organization that works against their interests. And yes, you better believe they have targeted fellow Chicken Man Gustavo Fring, who actually faces off in a match later tonight against Colonel Sanders in a Chicken Wars match. And here they are, ladies and gentlemen, Walter and Jesse. Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, Walt and Jesse. Seen on the famous show Breaking Bad, cooking crystal meth, getting into fights of their own, outsmarting enemies, making enemies. And ladies and gentlemen, these two now find themselves in an IWA ring after finding themselves in all kinds of sticky situations. I am not sure if Walter White will be able to find a way out of this situation. He has in front of him two fierce competitors, the Burger King and Ronald McDonald. And if you haven't seen these two men in action, you better believe there will be an IWA Classics coming out to explain the story between them. And now we just have the Burger King, Ronald McDonald, Walter White, and Jesse Pinkman. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get it on. And the Ronald McDonald with a kick right to the face of Walter White. Another kick to the face of Walter White. And Jesse Pinkman digging deep on the Burger King. Jesse Pinkman bouncing off the rope and punching Burger King right in the face. Ronald McDonald with a chop and a drop kick to Jesse Pinkman. As these two switch opponents. A suplex by the Burger King, slamming Walter White down to the ground. And now, Jesse Pinkman getting kneed in the gut by Ronald McDonald. Irish whip to the Burger King from Walter White, and Jesse Pinkman just getting curb stomped repeatedly by Ronald McDonald, that vicious clown. And Ronald McDonald, the fierce warrior, probably the best fighter in the ring right now. Drop kicking Walter White and doing a 360 spin. And now Jesse Pinkman kneeing the Burger King. Walter White with a spinning fist to the Ronald McDonald. The Ronald McDonald, exactly. Jesse Pinkman now looking to double team Ronald McDonald, perhaps with Walter White. Just kidding. Jesse Pinkman reaching under the ring and grabbing a foldable table. And now we have Jesse Pinkman punching Ronald McDonald. And Ronald McDonald driving the knee into the face of Jesse Pinkman. Burger King hoisting up Walter White for a suplex. And Ronald McDonald looking to set up that table. Jesse Pinkman high kick to Ronald McDonald. A left hook to the gut. Burger King dropping Jesse Pinkman's ass on Burger King's knee. And now Ronald McDonald throwing that table to the barricade. Jesse Pinkman kicking Ronald McDonald. And we have Walter White getting picked up by the Burger King and thrown across the side of the ring by the Burger King. And now Ronald McDonald once again setting the table up. But he cannot seem to get around the table. And Armando, move the goddamn camera. Jesse Pinkman just getting stomped on by that table. And now Walter White in the middle of the ring as his teammate Jesse gets his ass whooped by Ronald McDonald. Burger King setting up the ladder bridge on the side of the ring. And Burger King has bad business on his mind. And Ronald McDonald putting Jesse Pinkman through the table. Ronald McDonald throwing Jesse Pinkman into the ring. Burger King dropping the elbow onto a standing Walter White. The IWA fans chanting, "This is awesome." And Jesse Pinkman getting Irish whipped over the top rope. Ronald McDonald missing his attack onto Jesse Pinkman. Burger King with that baseball bat, cracking Walter White in the head. Ronald McDonald getting Irish whipped by Jesse Pinkman. And Jesse Pinkman now grabbing Ronald McDonald by the hair. Dropping Ronald McDonald face first into the knee of Jesse Pinkman. And Jesse Pinkman picking Ronald McDonald up for a meth driver. Only a 1 count by the referee. And Burger King there, sliding at Jesse Pinkman and taking him down in the action. And now, Jesse Pinkman grabbing the Burger King, kneeing him in the body. And Jesse Pinkman with a chili pea power bomb. And the referee slow to the count. Ronald McDonald high kicks to Walter White. Jesse Pinkman just hit a chili pea power bomb on the Burger King, and it was not enough. And now Walter White, Jesse Pinkman double teaming Ronald McDonald. And Walt just beating the absolute shit out of Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald with a kip up. High athleticism by Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald just punching Walt in the back. And now punching Jesse in the face. And a high kick to Jesse. Ronald McDonald beating the shit out of both of these men now. And the Burger King dropping Walter White for an atomic drop. Irish whip to Jesse into the ring post. And here is Ronald McDonald throwing Jesse Pinkman, lying him across the ladder. And Walter White just punched Burger King and busted him wide open. Ronald McDonald onto the top rope, aiming at Jesse Pinkman, dropping both fists onto Walter White, but no attack, and flame broiling Walter White. The Burger King has just flame broiled Walter White. Oh my. What have we just seen here at the IWA? A flame broiled Walter White, courtesy of the Burger King. Ronald McDonald kneeing Jesse Pinkman in the body. Throwing Jesse Pinkman towards the ladder, but Jesse Pinkman reversing. And now Jesse Pinkman getting punched by Ronald McDonald. And the Burger King power bombing Walter White through the ladder. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. The IWA fans once again freaking out, chanting, "This is awesome. This is more than awesome. This is a damn lawsuit waiting to happen." And Jesse Pinkman just barely kicking out. And the Burger King hitting Walt with a giant stick of meat. And ladies and gentlemen, something has got to give here tonight. Jesse Pinkman kicking away at the Burger King. And now Jesse Pinkman with a ground and pound to the Burger King. Walter White picking Ronald McDonald up. Ronald McDonald throwing Walter White over his back. And Ronald McDonald breaking up the pin and punching Jesse in the face. But Jesse getting attacked by Ronald McDonald once again. Ronald McDonald has Walter White right in front of him. Walter White busting Ronald McDonald wide open. And Walter White's looking to put Ronald McDonald to sleep. And Walter White is going to make Ronald McDonald go to sleep. And here's Ronald McDonald throwing Walter White, leaning him up against the announce table. And just laying him across the table now. Jumping on top of the table. Picking Walter White up. Punching Walter White in the face. And ladies and gentlemen, Ronald McDonald is going to look to powerbomb Walter White through the table. Referee with a 2 count. Walter White has just kicked out. Can you believe it? Jesse Pinkman now breaking up the second pinfall attempt. And Walter White just choking the life right out of Ronald McDonald. And Ronald McDonald's going to tap here, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday Night Havoc. Walter White getting stunned by Ronald McDonald. And Ronald McDonald driving the knee into the face of Walter White. Jesse Pinkman with that baseball bat in hand, hurling it over at Ronald McDonald, who has a door in his hand, dropping it. Ronald McDonald driving the knee into the face of Jesse Pinkman. Ronald McDonald getting his face driven to the ground by Walter White, and the Burger King attacking Walter White now. Absolute havoc in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. Outside of the ring, should I say. Walter White charging at the Burger King. Jesse Pinkman looking to rock bottom. Ronald McDonald. And Walter White has the Burger King in a headlock. And ladies and gentlemen, Walter White has made the Burger King tap out. Walt and Jesse find themselves victorious and in perfect position to challenge the Salamanca Twins for their IWA Tag Team Champions. And ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic display of tag team wrestling we saw here tonight. We saw giant sticks of meat. We saw tables. We saw more tables. We saw ladders. We saw baseball bats. And ladies and gentlemen, Walt and Jesse find themselves victorious against the coalition here tonight. And I know the Salamanca Twins are watching. And ladies and gentlemen, coming up next we have McCoy facing off against Pierre Olivier Laurent. But this match features a special guest referee, Commissioner Tucker Henderson. Oh my. You already know that Tucker Henderson has something up his sleeve. I want you all to remember that Tucker Henderson, our new commissioner, the man you see making his way to the ring right now, was in fact in the same fraternity as McCoy, the man who faces off against Pierre Olivier Laurent. And if you know anything about Tucker Henderson, you know damn well that he hates French people. So, if you're doing the math, let's see what we've got here. We've got Tucker Henderson, who is the special guest referee and a corrupt businessman. We've got McCoy, who is longtime best friend and fraternity brother of Tucker Henderson. And then we've got Pierre Olivier Laurent, a Frenchman who loves his country. To add all that into the mix, I think Pierre Olivier Laurent is in for a long night here. And here's McCoy now making his way to the ring. This man, Alpha Theta Alpha, that is the fraternity he was a part of. And he has found himself here in the IWA now. This frat boy, this longtime best friend of now Commissioner Tucker Henderson, facing off against a Frenchman who absolutely loves his country. And I'll tell you what, it's a recipe for disaster. And you see Tucker Henderson absolutely happy right now. And here is McCoy just towering over that third rope. This guy thinks he's a big guy. I mean, I'll tell you what, he's a handsome guy. And he is a car salesman during the week, wrestler at night. McCoy, often considered a legend of his frat house. They said he got the most women, he drank the most, and he got the worst grades. So that makes a perfect model frat boy for them. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Pierre Olivier Laurent now making his way to the ring, the proud Frenchman. And I'll tell you what, this rivalry between Pierre Olivier Laurent and Tucker Henderson, it starts a long way back to back when former Commissioner Henderson signed the Frenchman due to his physique and his good looks. And Tucker Henderson, the son of Commissioner Henderson, hated that, and he vowed that he will make this Frenchman's life hell the moment he takes over the IWA. And due to the accident our beloved Commissioner Henderson faced, where his limousine exploded, Tucker Henderson has certainly got his wish. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, a special guest referee match. And Tucker Henderson just taunting Pierre Olivier Laurent immediately as McCoy just hurls Pierre Olivier Laurent across the ring. And McCoy now kicking away at the Frenchman. A big right hand from McCoy. Full Nelson slam. And Tucker Henderson just taunting the fans, instead of counting for his best friend. And now McCoy with a big American powerbomb to the Frenchman, but the Frenchman kipping up immediately. And McCoy now dropping the Frenchman onto the top rope. And Tucker Henderson is just making all kinds of commands. He's absolutely milking this. He did not even count for his friend right there. Whose side is Tucker Henderson on? A big right hand by McCoy. A big elbow dropping onto Pierre Olivier Laurent. And McCoy just hammering away at the Frenchman now. But the Frenchman dropping McCoy onto the canvas. And the Frenchman now picking up McCoy. Big right hand. McCoy exchanging the right hand. Pierre Olivier Laurent throwing a right hand. Back and forth action, back and forth drama, back and forth wrestling. Big right hand from McCoy. McCoy getting the better of the Frenchman in classic American fists. McCoy just with a clothesline to Pierre Olivier Laurent and now pinning the Frenchman. A 2 count, not good enough. And Tucker Henderson perhaps may need to count faster for his fellow frat boy. And now the frat man throwing the body of Pierre Olivier Laurent into the canvas. More attacks from McCoy. Big athleticism from the Frenchman. Irish whipping McCoy, sending him over the top rope. And now the Frenchman throwing fists of French fury at McCoy's chest. 10 count of punches from Pierre Olivier Laurent. And Tucker Henderson is yelling at the Frenchman now. And Pierre Olivier Laurent getting cocky, arrogance. And a bear hug to the Frenchman, an American bear hug. And the Frenchman just throwing French elbows. And a big right hand by Pierre Olivier Laurent. Reverse STO to McCoy. And now Pierre Olivier Laurent picking McCoy up. And now just stomping on his chest. He's just a man. He's just an American man. But Tucker Henderson, that bastard is not counting. Oh my. And he's just dancing. He just started dancing. And McCoy now grabbing Pierre Olivier Laurent and throwing him down for a Theta Slam. And oh my, ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Henderson just deciding to dance instead of fairly count for Pierre Olivier Laurent. And now McCoy has Pierre Olivier Laurent just throwing him face first into the canvas. And Tucker Henderson, 2 count. Ooh, he's just playing around with him there. A fast 2 count and a slow 3 count. Tucker Henderson pulling an old prank on his frat brother there. A bit of hazing perhaps. And Pierre Olivier Laurent driving the elbow into the knee of of McCoy. Tucker Henderson, that bastard, our wonderful commissioner, just circling around the ring. And now, Pierre Olivier Laurent slapping McCoy right in the face. And he's picking McCoy up. And Pierre Olivier Laurent for a Les Blues Slam. And Tucker Henderson once again taunting the crowd. Pierre Olivier Laurent not even bothering to pin. And Pierre Olivier Laurent going for a French paradox kick. And Tucker Henderson kicking Pierre Olivier Laurent. This might not even be a match at this point. Because what the hell? The referee has just kicked one of the contenders in the match. Only at the IWA can you see this kind of drama and this kind of bullshit. And here's Tucker Henderson with a very, very slow count. He is just giving McCoy all kinds of time to kick out there. And McCoy barely kicking out. But if it was a normal count, it would have been a 3 count. It would have been a 10 count perhaps. And McCoy reversing and just ground and pounding on the Frenchman. Throwing the Frenchman across the ring. Slamming the Frenchman body into the canvas. And he's punching away at the Frenchman now. This is absolute bullshit, this match. And now he's going for the quick pinfall. But Tucker Henderson now decides to do a normal count. Haha. Playing fair for once. Ooh, and a fraternity slam. And what the hell have we just seen here? And McCoy dropping elbow after elbow onto Pierre Olivier Laurent. And McCoy heading to the top rope. Last time he was on a height this high, he snapped his ankle and missed the rest of the lacrosse season. And McCoy missing the drop once again. And Tucker Henderson doing a ring out count. And he's doing it quick. He's trying to get Pierre Olivier Laurant disqualified from this match. And McCoy dragging the Frenchman and leading him across the top rope. But here's the Frenchman slamming McCoy down. And the Frenchman now picking McCoy up, punching him in the back, sending the American down to the canvas, but the American reversing the Frenchman. And now McCoy kicking away at Pierre Olivier Laurent. Back and forth action here, but not a fair call by the referee, if I may say so myself. The referee is just beating the absolute shit out of Pierre Olivier Laurent along with McCoy. How is this even a match? But I can't say much about Tucker Henderson because he is in fact my boss. So I've got to be nice. Our wonderful commissioner is doing a fantastic job as referee here tonight. He is calling it completely fair and down the line. And Tucker Henderson now just helping the Frenchman to his feet. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, a fantastic job from our commissioner, Tucker Henderson. Always doing a fantastic job. We love Tucker Henderson, our new commissioner. And now Tucker Henderson. What the hell is this? That is one quick count. But not enough. The Frenchman showing all kinds of fight and resiliency here. But a Hurricane Rana by McCoy. Lining up Pierre Olivier Laurent for an all-American jackhammer. Pierre Olivier Laurent reversing it. And now Pierre Olivier Laurent flinging McCoy across the ring. And McCoy taking Pierre Olivier Laurent for an all-American jackhammer. Head first into the canvas. And what the hell, that is the quickest count I've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Henderson with a very fast count, helping his fraternity brother win this match here tonight. And I gotta say, our wonderful commissioner Tucker Henderson did a fantastic job in his referee debut here tonight. Called it completely fair and down the line. And I'll tell you what, he should replace all IWA referees at this point. What a wonderful display by Tucker Henderson. What a wonderful display by McCoy. And the Frenchman now in shame, losing this match. And look at McCoy just having time of his life strumming his air guitar. He knows here that he got very lucky, that he met a guy like Tucker Henderson who would one day be commissioner of a wrestling organization. And look at Tucker Henderson just looking at his frat brother with all the pride in his eyes. Look how proud he is of his frat brother who's just stunting around in the middle of the ring, hailing as the victor. And McCoy, the badass from college, the best friend of Commissioner Henderson now, stunting on these IWA fans, showing off and being a sore winner. Typical frat boy fashion by McCoy. And his frat boys, frat brothers, back at college, they're watching with absolute pride. They have a shrine of McCoy on their wall because this man, as I said earlier, got the most women, drank the most alcohol, beat up the most minorities. He did a fantastic job as a frat boy, and McCoy made his friend Tucker Henderson very proud here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere because next we have the Chicken Wars between Gustavo Fring and Colonel Sanders. Los Pollos Hermanos, KFC. Only here at the IWA you can get this kind of action. And Hector Salamanca has just attacked Gustavo Fring from the back, and he is just beating the absolute dog shit out of the Chicken Man once again for the second or third week in a row at this point. And something has got to give between these two as Hector Salamanca is getting separated from his man, Gus Fring. And Colonel Sanders just staring at Gus Fring. And Colonel Sanders has got to be loving this. He has just got an easy ticket to victory here, ladies and gentlemen. And Colonel Sanders being an absolute gentleman, waiting for Gus Fring to make his way into the ring. But Colonel Sanders immediately swiping the legs of Mr. Fring and letting him know whose town he's in now. The Colonel just driving the knee into the face of Gus Fring. And Gus Fring with a drop kick to the Colonel. kicking the Colonel now. And now Gus Fring picking the Colonel up and dropping him. Just kidding. Punching him in the back of the head. And now the Colonel swiping the legs of Gus Fring once again. And the Colonel now getting thrown to the canvas by Gus Fring, who does an acrobatic maneuver. DDT from the Colonel. Back and forth action from these two chicken connoisseurs. And Gus Fring getting kicked by Colonel once again. And Colonel just clotheslining Gustavo Fring over the top rope. And now the Colonel dropping both hands on Gus Fring. And here we have Gus Fring. Reverse neck breaker to the Colonel himself. Ho ho! And the referee now counting as Gus Fring just kicks the face of the Colonel. These IWA fans absolutely loving it. And if you are loving what you are seeing tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. And Gus Fring with a chicken twister slam on the Colonel. Thought he was going to hit him with a spice curl for a second. And here is Gus Fring now throwing the Colonel's sorry ass into the ring and hammering away at the Colonel. The Colonel now punching back. And the Colonel grabbing Gus Fring. Chicken breast to chicken breast suplex. Oh my, what a fantastic maneuver there. Chicken breast to chicken breast suplex by the Colonel himself. And now he's kicking away at Gus Fring and just hits him with an elbow. And the Colonel waiting for Gus Fring to make his way to the ring, just picking him up because he's impatient. And the Colonel throwing Gus Fring towards the rope. And a clothesline from the Colonel to the chicken man. And the Colonel on the top rope. He's too old to be doing this. The Colonel dropping the fist on Gus Fring, but missing. And now, Gus Fring, reverse neckbreaker. Just kidding. Punching the back of the Colonel's neck. And Gus Fring just twisting the ankle of the Colonel. The referee had a 2 count, taking his sweet time. And Gus Fring dragging the Colonel, throwing him face first into the ringside. And Gus Fring grabbing the Colonel, throwing his face into the ringside once more. Referee at a 6 count. These men got to get the hell out of, back in the ring. And Gus Fring just prancing around. The Colonel breaking the count. Gus Fring making his way back into the ring. What the hell are these two doing? Both of these men back inside the ring and back outside of the ring. What the hell is happening? And Gus Fring now dragging the Colonel out of the ring. And what's Gus Fring got in store for the Colonel here? Grabbing the Colonel, throwing him back into the ring. And if these two men do not make up their minds, I'm going to head down to the ring myself and beat both of their asses. And here's Gus Fring getting swept by the Colonel, who makes his way to the top rope once again. The Colonel now, chicken flyer slam, missing. And Gus Fring grabbing the Colonel, picking him up, dropping his head into the top rope. And Gus Fring going for the pinfall, but not gonna be good enough for the Colonel. Gus Fring drop kicking the Colonel, who rebounds off the ropes. But the Colonel makes his way to the top rope and just clotheslines Gus Fring over the top rope. And now the Colonel dropping the elbow onto Gus Fring. Back and forth action between these two men as they exchange blows here outside of the ring while the referee continues the count. The Colonel with a chop, Gus Fring with a slap. The Colonel missing his chop, Gus Fring chopping away at the Colonel now. And the Colonel returning a chop. And Gus Fring just egging the Colonel on. More chops from the Colonel. A big right hand from the Colonel, missing his chop this time. Gus Fring chopping away at the Colonel. The Colonel chopping away at Gus Fring. Fring chopping away at the Colonel. And now these two men are just punching away at each other. And one of these men is going to drop down to the ground. Who will it be? Both of them on their feet still. Gus Fring grabbing the Colonel for a Pollos pedigree. But the Colonel immediately making his way to his feet. We've got to check this man for performance-enhancing drugs. Because how has he made his way to the feet now? And the Colonel dropping the knee onto Gus Fring from over 10 feet in the air. And just kicking away at Mr. Fring now. Fring grabbing the Colonel and throwing him towards the barricade. And now Fring entering the ring and taunting the Chicken Man. And the Colonel with a big clothesline to Gus Fring, now dropping the knee onto Mr. Fring. And Fring regrets taunting this guy now. And now the Colonel grabbing Gus Fring for a chicken twister. A chicken twister from the Colonel himself. Gus Fring kicking the Colonel in the gut and running towards the Colonel for a caliente curb stop from Gus Fring. And the referee with a 1 count, a 2 count, and the referee with a 3 count. Gus Fring has won this match. And there's Hector Salamanca eyeing his opponent. And these two men absolutely hate each other. And here they are. They're about to get it on right here, ladies and gentlemen. Gus Fring, Hector Salamanca. They do not want to wait for retribution. They want to get it on right now. And here's Hector just talking absolute shit to Gus Fring about his meth, about his chicken, about everything. And Gus Fring punching away at Hector. And now these two men going back and forth. And the security is out here to separate them. And Hector Salamanca breaking the guard and beating the shit out of Gus Fring some more. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. And following that will be the main event of the evening. Cartel Wars. Lalo Salamanca facing off against Tony Scarface Montana. Haha, ladies and gentlemen. Only here at the IWA you can get this kind of action. And we have Hector Salamanca's nephew, Lalo Salamanca, making the way to the ring. And I'll tell you what, this guy's been in absolute good spirits ever since his cousin Tuco betrayed him. But he cannot be thinking about Tuco here tonight, because he's got another cartel member, Tony Montana from Scarface, to face off against in the middle of the ring tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the movie Scarface, if you've seen Better Call Saul, you know that this is going to be an action-packed match here tonight. Tony Montana, Lalo Salamanca. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a battle of wits, a battle of grit, and a battle of toughness. And here's Lalo Salamanca in ever good spirits, as he always is. And let's see what Hector Salamanca's apprentice Lalo Salamanca can do here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, Lalo Salamanca was face to face with his cousin Tuco last week on Friday Night Havoc, as you may have seen. And he has vowed that the next time he sees Tuco Salamanca, he's going to whoop his ass. And here's Scarface now making his way to the ring. You just see him itching his nose there. Perhaps from all of the cocaine that he just got done doing. And I'll tell you what, this is a battle of drugs, a battle of cartels. We've got two different cartels facing off against each other. And those two cartels happen to sell drugs, yes. But one cartel sells cocaine, the other sells methamphetamine. So you already know we're in for a hell of a match here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Only on Friday Night Havoc you can get this kind of action. If you are enjoying the show, please like, comment, and subscribe. And here we have Tony Soprano now in the ring. Lalo Salamanca in the ring as well. And these two men are going to get it on. And Tony Soprano with a big kick to the face of Lalo Salamanca. And Lalo kicking away at Tony Soprano. And Tony Soprano digging deep and punching Lalo Salamanca every which way he possibly can. And Lalo Salamanca missing his European uppercut, or should I say Mexican uppercut. And Tony Soprano grabbing a steel chair. Lalo Salamanca grabbing Montana. Irish whipping him towards the rope, and Montana reversing. And now Scarface grabbing Lalo Salamanca and clotheslining him down to the ground. And now Scarface throwing the steel chair right at Lalo Salamanca. Lalo Salamanca with a Sinaloa suplex. And now grabbing Scarface, DDT, damn near onto the steel chair. Drop kicking Scarface, and you see Scarface wrestling in a three-piece suit with all those rings on. You see Lalo Salamanca in a two-piece suit. And now these two men exchanging blows, back and forth slaps, back and forth chops. You name it, they've got it. And here's Lalo Salamanca getting slapped by Tony Soprano. Again, slapping Lalo Salamanca. And Tony Soprano missing his right hand. Lalo Salamanca with a double up. And Lalo Salamanca with another right hand. And it's Tuco Salamanca. Tuco Salamanca's back. Tuco Salamanca's back. And Lalo is preoccupied with Tony Montana. And Lalo has Tuco Salamanca up. One amigo. Two amigos. And Lalo Salamanca. Three amigos onto steel chair. Injuring the back of Tuco Salamanca, who just slowly rolls out of the ring. And Tony Montana with a big boot to the face of Lalo Salamanca. And Tony Soprano. Steel chair shots to Lalo Salamanca. More steel chair attacks. More steel chair attacks. And Tony Montana now kicking away at Lalo Salamanca, who gets flung over the top rope by Tony Montana. And now Scarface exiting the ring. Tuco Salamanca exiting the arena after his failed attempt to sneak attack on Lalo Salamanca. And Lalo making his way back into the ring, looking to get away from that baseball bat wielding Tony Montana. And Lalo just driving the face of Tony into the canvas. Very acrobatic maneuver. Going for the pinfall. Tony Montana kicking out at the 2 count. And Lalo Salamanca picking up Scarface. Irish whip it to the rope. Slamming Scarface into the canvas. And now Lalo Salamanca is kicking away at his man. And now he's picking up Scarface. But Scarface elbowing Lalo. And now Taekwondo kicks, driving the knee into the face of Lalo Salamanca and Tony Soprano. More knees, more elbows. A knee into the face of Lalo Salamanca, who's just been busted wide open by Tony Montana. And now Scarface. Steel chair shots to Lalo Salamanca. Driving the steel chair into the gut and the rib. The same rib that Casper. Never mind. And ladies and gentlemen, and Scarface now. Cocaine punch to Lalo Salamanca. A cocaine punch by Tony Montana. And now he's picking Lalo Salamanca up for a Cuban missile strike to the face of Lalo Salamanca. 2 count by the ref, 3 count by the ref. Ladies and gentlemen, Scarface is victorious here tonight. Scarface has just managed to pull off a victory against Lalo Salamanca with a distraction from Tuco Salamanca in his aid. And wow, oh wow, what a Cuban missile strike by Tony Montana, who finds himself victorious here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, please comment and subscribe if you enjoyed tonight's show. This has been Marty Feldspar, and I am signing out. Take care and have a great night.